Number 178 in the Radiance range is 1970's Solo, a film by Jean-Pierre Mocky. Now we recently had, or not recently, but we had a Mocky set before, which was full of 3 movies that I absolutely adored, and I wanted to discover more from this filmmaker. And this, looking at the synopsis, was the kind of Radiance film that jumps out to me. It's an angry, jaded, satirical, political and slightly messy film, which sounds interesting enough, and it starts off really interesting. You have Mocky, who's playing Vincent Cabral, a womanising violinist jewel thief, and instantly when I seen that I was like, this is going to be amazing, everything I could possibly want in a film. He's a kind of drifter, he's a criminal and a performer, and someone who just looks as if he moves through life with a certain selfish freedom.
Tu les as?
J'ai.
Ok. Tu les as eus comment?
Une Auxerre, je t'expliquerai. Allez, on va à Paris maintenant. Je suis pressé de percevoir mon petit cachet.
Assez? Les femmes.
And I was all with that. That character, that aspect was wonderful. I was all there. But that kind of changes when he discovers that his younger brother Virgil is involved with a leftist revolutionary group responsible for a brutal attack on a group of powerful men. Vincent isn't an idealist, he isn't a political believer, he's just suddenly converted into some heroic revolutionary figure. He's dragged into this because of family. It's only him and his brother that's left, and he's been supporting his brother. And his brother is in danger, and Vincent has to decide whether it's time to keep drifting and living his selfish life or try and do something to help his brother out. And I think it's probably the political aspect of this movie that stopped it from making it a great movie in my eyes, because you can feel the political disappointment running through the film. This isn't about the youthful optimism about revolution, it's much more bitter and cynical than that. There is a lot of confusion and anger within the characters. The young radicals who we meet throughout the film are furious at corruption, hypocrisy, the wealth and the powerful men who seem to control and just seem to gather more power.
Tu crois que j'en ai trop dit?
Mais non, mon pauvre chou, ça t'est tombé sur la gueule, comme à moi. Virgile fréquente vraiment le cosmos ou c'est une craque?
Non, non, c'est vrai.
Bon, mais alors je fonce. Si jamais les flics y vont, ils risquent de se faire piquer. Un de ces jours.
And the film really does understand where rage comes from, but also shows you how quickly rage can become destructive, chaotic and self-defeating in the hands of people who aren't attuned to using that power. It's not really saying the system is rotten, it just kind of asks what happens when people fighting the system start to lose themselves along the way. Now Vincent, like I said, I just like Mocky. I like the way he carries his characters, the way he performs, and he has these charming moments throughout it. He has these cool moments as well. He is capable, but there's also a certain level of detachment where he's selfish and definitely morally slippy as well. He begins the film who's someone who lives by actively avoiding attachment. He steals, he seduces, he moves on, but once his brother becomes the centre of the story, that detachment starts to crack, and it's where Mocky's performance really starts to shine, and he is excellent here. He's not suddenly transformed into a noble hero, he is still cynical, he's still self-interested, but he is forced to care, and that makes him vulnerable in a way that he does not like or want to be. It has Vincent caught between two worlds. He's too cynical. He's seen too much to be a revolutionary, but he's too involved to just simply walk away from his brother and everything that's going on.
Ça va aller, tu crois, petit, hein?
Ça va. Il faut que je dise à Virgile que je suis pas un dégonflé. Il m'a pas cru, ce con.
Mocky really directs the film with a rough, restless energy. It doesn't feel polished in a conventional way. It feels that kind of way that the 70s films would go into, that kind of rugged handheld aspect in certain moments. It doesn't feel polished. Scenes have a kind of strange rhythm to them almost. The film can jump from various modes, from satirical or tense. It can be absurd or angry, and it seems to flip from one scene to the next, which I actually liked because it kept me fresh on my toes, and it showed you the conflicting emotions within the character that we were following as well. Because it's a film about society is naturally unstable, and this gives us a sense of that through this character. One of the things that I really liked about the film is you can see the American influence throughout it. It clearly has that American crime influence. It's got the pull of a kind of noir and of a gangster cinema, of that kind of anti-hero aspect to it. It's got chases, it's the violence, the criminal underworld, the man being dragged into a trap. It doesn't feel like an imitation either. It feels like it's 10 aspects that it liked, and it's changed them and made them fit into the story, giving the film its own kind of identity. I was really torn with Solo. I love the character of Vincent. I wish he was the main character in a different story. For me, I really enjoyed Mocky's performance. I enjoyed the filmmaking, but it is uneven. The tone is wild. It's all over the place. There are moments when I felt the film's ideas were more powerful than the actual storytelling. There is a roughness to it, but it's part of the appeal within the film, and it just left me not satisfied with the answer at the end of the film. The conclusion here didn't fully tick all the boxes. I enjoyed the film. I'm glad I watched it, but from the Mocky films that I've seen, it's probably running behind all 3 films within the box set at this moment. Of course, there are some extras on the disc, so let's dive in and have a look at them. Here we are in the disc for Solo. Let's go to the special features. First up, we have Jean-Pierre Mocky. Jean-Pierre Mocky recounts the genesis and making of Solo, the film's spectacular premiere in Cannes and its success in France and beyond. Originally recorded for Esque Editions in 2018, and this runs for 12 minutes 55 seconds. What I was most surprised was just having the man himself talking about it. It was a great addition to the disc, hearing him talking about what inspired him, what he thinks about the film looking back on it now. Next, we have Anne Deluise. Anne Deluise looks back to the start of her film career with Solo, sharing memories from the shoot and discussing her experience working with director and co-star Jean-Pierre Mocky. Originally recorded for Esque Editions in 2022, and this runs for 17 minutes 28 seconds. Again, another talking head, someone looking back at their first role, how they got the job, their thoughts of working with Mocky and the idea of the film and what he saw in her. Eric Leroy, head of collections at the CNC and former assistant to Jean-Pierre Mocky, discusses the importance of Solo for Mocky's career and its significance as a post-1968 document, originally recorded for Esque Editions in 2022. And this runs for 14 minutes 51 seconds. And I like how this gives a little bit more information on the grander scale of where Mocky was in his career at this point. His acting that had taken a backseat, his directing that was really kind of the mainstay for him, how this changed a lot of things within his career. It's all discussed here. And there's also a gallery. Also included in this set is a 28-page booklet where we have the cast and crew, and we have an essay, Jean-Pierre Mocky, the Maverick of French cinema, which is a terrific read from 1970, and then we have an interview with Jean-Pierre Mocky from 1970 as well by Max Tessier, and that's the extras for Solo. Solo it's an interesting film. It's got Mocky, who does a wonderful performance, wonderful direction. It's just the story that I couldn't properly attune myself to. You can see the post late 60s crime film about family and violence and disillusionment, and a man who gets pulled into a political fight that he does not want to be in and has no particularly affinity for it at all. Like I said, Mocky's performance is incredible. The film left me wanting more. which was a bit disappointing. I'd love to know your thoughts on Solo, so let me know in the comment box below whether you love it, hate it, or fall somewhere in the middle. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, manvfilm.com. Always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.